We're going to get a twofer out of today's adventure because with a little hour detour north, it gives me the opportunity to drive about a 60-mile section of the Natchez Trace Parkway, which is a 444-mile long national scenic parkway, and it is also a national park. Scenery is supposed to be beautiful. There's a lot of history to go along with it, and we're going to stop anywhere we can stop. Unfortunately, the visitor center is closed due to COVID-19, but they have kept their little map box well stocked with maps of the parkway, so we're going to study that here for a minute and get out here and check it out. The Natchez Trace itself goes back to time immemorial. They say it started with prehistoric animal game trails, and then Native Americans, indigenous tribes, used those paths, and sometime around the 1700s, traders started using it because what they would do is they would try to get their goods out of the Midwest. They'd come down like the Ohio River and down the Mississippi River, but this was before the steam engine and paddle wheelers, so they had to get back to the Midwest. So they would come down the rivers, float everything down, sell everything in either Natchez or New Orleans or Nolans, and then they had to get home. So they would take these pathways back north, and that's what kind of forged them into an individual singular trail system. It's got a lot of history associated with it. The Choctaw people, the Chickasaw people, those cane tucks, what they called those that traveled down the river to sell their goods, prehistoric animals, all kinds of people, including Andrew Jackson and Meriwether Lewis. You need to look up the Meriwether Lewis story. He died on the Natchez Trail under interesting circumstances. Might be one of the oldest cold cases we know of. You should check that out. But anyway, we're going to get to drive about a 60-mile section of it from, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, Kosciusko to Jackson. So we're going to do that now. Just past a sign that said 68 miles. So I'm going to drive about a 68-mile section of it. Like I said, it is a national park, a very long, narrow national park. It's a national scenic byway. No commercial vehicles allowed, no 18-wheelers, no log trucks, no chicken trucks, nothing like that. The only vehicles that you can tow are recreational, such as an RV or a trailer with maybe four-wheelers on it or kayaks or something of that nature. No billboards, no signage. Speed limit is, I believe, 50 miles an hour at its maximum. If I understand correctly, again, 444 miles long from Nashville down through Tupelo and Jackson and on down to Natchez. Gosh, it's a very, very beautiful drive. I've only driven a few miles so far. It's super smooth. Seems to be well maintained. Yeah, this is kind of cool. Like, this may be a future road trip where I drive the entire length of the trace and work it out over 2 or 3 days, see all the sights along the way. Like, that could be pretty cool. This marker talks about the Choctaw cessation of land in 1820 and the treaty they made with Andrew Jackson and the United States of America government. Doak's Stand, it talks about here, had a tavern on the trace about 5 miles from here, and then it was moved to just a half mile north of here. It says this stand of trees, this line of trees right here, that goes and crosses the parkway, and you can see how it continues on, dot, 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 dot. But that was the accepted line of the original boundary line. Well, this is just a darn shame. Man, look at all that storm damage. This is the Tupelo Bald Cypress Swamp. And there's a trail that you should be able to hike here. And you can go down and see all the cypress trees in this swamp. But unfortunately, it's all closed off because of the storm damage. I am greatly disappointed in this because I was going to take some pictures down here. Look at that. That is cool. Well, it's clearly off limits. We're not going to break any rules here and go hiking around. But just wanted to make sure. Probably the only opportunity. I'll be leaving Mississippi later this week, and they're sure not opening this in the next week. Just get a look at it. Take an opportunity to take a couple of pictures. I bet this is a pretty cool little hike. I'm gonna miss out on it. This is the Cypress Swamp. And yeah, man, that's a cool view and a cool drive. And oh, by the way, I just saw that, if you saw that flick in front of the camera there, Mississippi, you guys got an issue with horseflies, man. Like, all I gotta do is open the door and there's about 6 of them in here. This is only about a mile past the West Florida boundary marker, and this is the Boyd site. This is an archaeological site. You can kind of see that mound behind me there. So we're gonna give it a quick look and look at the sign and see what it has to tell us. But this is a Native American site, and yeah, let's check it out real quick. So here's the rundown. Sometime around 500 AD there was a house on this mound, so the archaeologists say. The pottery was made before 700 AD that was found in the mound. Okay, that's significant, yeah. This 100-foot long mound found the remains of 41 burials, archaeologists did. It's really 3 mounds in one. Differences in the types of pottery found in each indicate the construction of the mounds was separated by a significant or a considerable lapse of time. That is congruent with the orientation, what's on the sign, what's represented. Appears that it would have been mound to the left, the higher point to the right, and then it was all filled in. It's very interesting. Alright, here's something we've been looking for. At least I have. A couple of portions of the old trace that you can walk on. Nearly 200-year-old wilderness road. It's right here as you're heading into Jackson. It's just a mile or two past the last stop we just made at the Boyd site. Yeah, so we're gonna go down here and walk on it. Okay. Well, this is cool. This is it. See how deeply sunken into the ground it is, how deeply eroded. There was an old wagon trail through my grandmother's back pasture that was similar to this in certain places. Just beat down through the earth over years and years and years of use. That's just really cool. Like, this is quite literally the same stretches of ground that the likes of Meriwether Lewis and so many soldiers, so many Native Americans, so many people walked on. Like, you're walking right in it when you do that, when you come and do this. Well, I thought we were going to just about wrap it up at that site, because I'm just coming into Ridgeland, which is the community section of Jacksonville that we are staying in. But I was looking at the map there, and another 16 miles down the Trace Parkway here is another historical site that is a cemetery, Cowles Mead Cemetery, I think it was. I just read it. And since that'd only be another half hour added to the day, it's not that late yet. We might as well get all the use out of this video we can, huh? Alright, so this cat, Cowles Mead, owned a tavern on the Trace, held political offices, including an acting governor in 1806, and ordered the arrest of Aaron Burr for treason. It's interesting. Anyway, he built this amazing house here, apparently, and it burned during the Civil War after his death. But the cemetery, the family cemetery, is left over here down this path, so we're going to check that out. I wonder if it's literally just these 2 graves. To the memory of Cowles Mead, whose pure life Can't really read it. Born 1776. Died 1844. Coils G. Mead. Born 1818. Died 1849. Doesn't state the relation to cow's meat. Oh, here we go. The inside of cow's meat is Mary Lily, the wife of Cowles, and she died in 1834. Born 1797. Gosh, she wasn't very old. I think that's going to about do it for us today on my Natchez Trace Parkway adventure. I would say we extended that 15 miles, and it was how many? 68. So we probably did between 75 and 85 miles on it from that place I can't pronounce to the southern point in Jackson, one of the more southern points at the Cowles Mead Cemetery. And we saw the more notable places along the way to check out. And yeah, so that was fun. Like, I enjoyed that. And it was a very beautiful trip. And yeah, that's in my future. A full 444 mile journey over a few days, 2 days, maybe 3 days. Spaced out, check out everything along the way. There's several interchanges at more of the major areas like Tupelo and other places where you could stop, have lunch, stay the night in a hotel. That would be a fun road trip, and I'm going to do that someday. But for today, I am done. So please like and subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it very much, and we'll catch you guys next time.
We here at Studio 119 would like to remind all of you out there listening, wherever you might be, that though the hill might be steep and the trail be rocky, the mountaintop awaits. Carry on.